evening. Our top story this week. In Massachusetts, the Child Welfare League of America releases its report on the state of the child protective industry, finding deep flaws. But they relieved the Massachusetts child protective industry from any responsibility in the case of Jeremiah Oliver, who was found dead on the side of the road after having gone missing for months. And Massachusetts CPS agents are crying about all the work they brought upon themselves since this fiasco started. In Arizona, the legislature approves Governor Jan Brewer's new $60 million spending on her new standalone child welfare agency, although some are saying that Oliver's wonderful changes will fade away as soon as she is out of office. And while Arizona foster parents and child advocates are banding together to demanding a better system, in Connecticut, the legislature fails to pass mental health gun legislation designed to prevent another Sandy Hook massacre. In Kansas, one mental breakdown can mean the loss of your kid forever because of this bizarre theory that you might be too mentally ill to care for your kids sometime in the future. In Vermont, the governor wants to hire 18 additional CPS agents after recent failures, saying that the cost will not affect other social programs. In Texas, about 1 out of 3 child abuse claims are being overturned by judges in family court. And the Florida child protective industry is trying to weasel their way out of responsibility for the deaths of children in their care or under their watch by keeping such cases off the books. In Germany this week, a social worker is fined for leaving a kid with a drug addict who died from an overdose while the kid eventually died of thirst next to the mother's body. In India, 2 sickos are being held for sexually abusing kids at a children's home and for making them watch porn and eat feces. Pope Francis visits Israel and declares a zero-tolerance policy for child abusers. And in New Zealand, a review finds that social workers have too much work to do. In Canada, former foster kids from Ontario file a $110 million lawsuit against the province because of the abuse they suffered after being ripped from their homes. A children's aid social worker gets killed in a fire. In Alberta, a doctor is concerned for the safety of a small foster child who may be returned to the home where she suffered serious burns on her face a few months ago. And a judge from Alberta is calling for an investigation to see if they're cheaping out on Aboriginal kids, since there seems to be less funding for them than there is for non-native youth. In Australia, hundreds of people across the country are rallying for major changes to the child protection regimes, which organizers are saying is responsible for a new stolen generation. Although the Northern Territory's Attorney General is claiming that the number of Aboriginal kids in foster care has nothing to do with race, Australia's victims of forced adoption get together for an afternoon to share their experiences. And in New South Wales, it is revealed that not only have 14,000 kids been stolen to date, but as many as 1 in 9 Aboriginal kids gets ripped from their families and thrown into foster care. In England, a couple of parents have their 5-month-old baby snatched and put up for adoption after failing to give him a name. A couple of British siblings go missing from their foster homes. A British social worker is suspended from the register for not snatching a kid like she was supposed to. British social workers knew about a girl's relationship with a violent adult while she was in foster care. The United Kingdom may approve 3-parent pregnancies to end severe genetic disorders and diseases by using the eggs of one woman and implanting them into those who shouldn't breed. A couple of Catholic parents are frightened as their kids are stolen and placed with a gay couple. And a British foster mother who was jailed for 14 years for torturing 3 kids in her care is set to be released and rehomed in a place that is close to where her victims live. In entertainment news this week, Dr. Phil goes off on the White House Ways and Means Committee regarding the over-drugging of foster kids, while claiming that foster care is a social circumstance and not a mental illness. In the Los Angeles County child protective industry closes the case against Will and Jada Smith after finding that their daughter was in no danger from Moses Arias based on a picture of the 2 of them on a bed together with him being shirtless. In Maine, a real mother who was charged with parental kidnapping after trying to rescue her kids last year is charged with violating her bail conditions by visiting them at a church function the day before Easter. Another Maine mother is denying allegations that she threatened her son and husband with a knife, saying that she never hurt anyone. In Georgia, a foster mother is sitting in jail after being arrested in Tennessee for killing a 2-year-old back on New Year's Day. A Georgia toddler is in a medically induced coma after being severely burned when cops dropped a flash grenade in his crib. And in Illinois, the trial of a woman who killed a foster kid in 2011 has been postponed until September. In Pennsylvania, a group home counselor is arrested for drug possession with intent to sell. In North Carolina, a juvenile was arrested after being blamed for burning down a foster home. In Tennessee, a 17-year-old is charged with arson for starting a fire at a group home. And in West Virginia, a woman who worked as a teacher's aide was charged with domestic battery for striking one of her foster children in the face. In Connecticut, the Friends of CPS hostage Justina Pelletier surprised her with a $6 16th birthday party, while another Massachusetts couple files a lawsuit against the child protective industry for illegally doing the bidding of doctors at the Boston Children's Hospital, which was said to strip the mother and father of their parental rights. A 14-year-old who ran away from her Massachusetts group home is recaptured by the police. In Maryland, a 19-year-old foster kid is tased by police at a hospital 5 times before he died. In Texas, a father is looking at jail time even though he paid off his back child support. And finally, tonight, in Ohio, a foster mother can't believe that a daycare worker threw a shoe at her foster kid. For these stories and all the latest dirt on the child protective industry, visit www.legallykidnapped.com. And until next week, this is Baby LK, over and out.